First time parents, let's get down to the nitty gritty of 5 essentials to have in your diaper caddy, plus some bonus items that would also be helpful to have on hand. The first essential, diapers. It goes almost without saying you're going to need diapers. Most infants take the newborn size diaper, and you can tell by the N on the package. At the bare minimum, you'll want to have at least a package of newborn diapers on hand. I like to keep the diapers in my diaper caddy because it's just easier than having to go into a drawer or the closet when you're in a desperate baby needs to be changed situation. Essential 2, wipes. There are a whole variety of wipes out there. I had a sensitive skin first child, so we needed to use water wipes that were almost all water, and I always stayed with it. I liked having them in a wipe dispenser just like this. These are water wipes you can see here, but any wipes will do depending on what your preference is. As for the wipe dispenser, I really liked having a wipe dispenser that I could use one-handed with a push like this. Because the thing is, the last thing you want to be doing is trying to open a wipe container with 2 hands when you really are only in a one-handed situation. There are also wipe dispensers that have warmers with them, but I honestly thought that was just too much, and I didn't want to create a situation where my child was upset when the wipes weren't warm. It seemed too high maintenance to me. Essential 3, diaper ointments and spatulas. There's a lot of moisture that happens when you're changing a diaper and when your child has gone to the bathroom before you actually end up changing the diaper. You'll want to talk to your doctor about this, but most of them recommend some application of a diaper cream. Zinc oxide is an important ingredient in most of the ointments that are out there on the market. There are lots of different kinds. I liked Desitin. Here, that's this with a purple top. There's also A&D ointment or Boudreaux's butt paste is also a very popular kind. This here is an AD ointment. Most people end up having a preference once they get into having a baby after a few months, and I found that I just stuck with 1 ointment or 2 ointments, and that's really all I used. I also found that having a spatula for spreading the ointment was really important. This one's made by Bumco. Frida Baby makes another one. You just put it in there and then you wipe it on your baby's bum. I found it was a lot easier to have a spatula than having to worry about wiping ointment off my hands all the time. It would get under my fingernails. It really didn't work. Essential 4, lotion. There are all kinds of lotions out there, but one thing you should know is your baby's skin is probably going to need some kind of tender care. A lot of people just use plain coconut oil in the very beginning because it's essentially a raw ingredient and very organic. Other popular options are Aveeno, or for our sensitive child, we actually use a lotion called Bubseed that was a heavy coconut oil based lotion. You'll see that here. It's actually a balm. There's a whole thing about balms over lotions. I think balms are more heavier based. Essential 5, hand sanitizer. You wouldn't necessarily think about this, but having hand sanitizer on hand in your caddy is really important. You're dealing with bodily fluids, and it's just much easier to have a hand sanitizer in your caddy that you can use after changing the diaper and then sort of just be on your way. I really liked Baby Ganic's foaming hand sanitizer that was alcohol free. With the number of diaper changes that happen in the beginning for infants, using alcohol hand sanitizer all the time can be really rough on your hands. Now we've gone over what are my 5 top essentials in your diaper caddy. Let's talk about some bonus items that would also be helpful to have on hand, particularly if you have a large diaper caddy like I do. A toy to occupy your child. You wouldn't think about this, but especially as your child gets older, they start moving around a lot, and having something small and simple to entertain them can be really helpful when you're changing your baby. You could also in the beginning use a pacifier. I liked personally having silicone rings or a rattle. This is also a teether that's oftentimes used, but just having something there that you can give to your baby and entertain them while you're using the diaper can often make a diaper change happen much more easily. Another sort of bonus item that I like to have in my diaper caddy was vitamin D drops. If your baby is breastfeeding, your doctor will likely recommend using vitamin D drops. I like to keep them in my diaper caddy so that I would just easily remember to give the drops after the baby had woken up for the night. I just fit it into my schedule that we always did in the morning, and it became a habit. If I kept them on my caddy, it was easier for me to remember, especially in the early newborn sleep deprived state, because they were just right there in front of me. Another bonus item that I liked having in my diaper caddy was a gas relief for your baby. I had a great caregiver that helped me in the first few weeks with our first newborn, and she always recommended having gas relief on hand. You should check with your doctor on what they recommend. I liked keeping it in the diaper caddy in case my baby was upset in the middle of the night and I could easily just open it, give it to my baby, and then put them back down. I didn't want to have to go into the bathroom and turn on the light and just make a whole production of it. I could just have my gas relief, administer, and be continuing on for the night so that hopefully everyone was sleeping again. This one here is Mommy's Bliss. It's a grape water. There are lots of different kinds of gas relief out there though. A nail file. That's the next bonus item. You would be surprised how often your baby's nails can grow. There are several nail files out there on the market that help make nail filing just more safe than just your regular nail clippers. I really liked having a motorized nail file because as your baby grows, they're just moving around a lot. And it's easier if they're impatient to have something motorized to quickly trim the nails. This file here is made by Little Martens. Frida Baby also has a motorized version. If you want a non-motorized version of a nail file, there are lots of options out there on the market. I know Frida Baby also makes one, and this one here is made by Angel Love. We'll link all the products also mentioned here in the video down in the caption below. The next bonus item, a nightlight. In the middle of the night, you're going to want to see to feed your baby, and for diaper changes, you just don't want to have to do the whole full bright lights. It wakes everyone up fully, and it's just not the state that you want to be in. I really found it helpful to have a nightlight with a clip that I just attached on to my diaper caddy, and I could turn it on and off with a tap of a hand. While not products in my diaper caddy, I also found a few other things to be helpful when stocking my diaper caddy. One was to buy a diaper caddy that could be washed. Your baby's going to have all kinds of fluids coming out of them when they're being changed. It's unfortunately just sort of a facts of life, and you'll be surprised how much you get used to this. A diaper caddy that can be washed, that has a liner to it in the diaper caddy, and that can also be wiped down on the outside is really important. Otherwise, you're probably going to be trashing that diaper caddy before you know it. The other thing I found really helpful was to use a divider in my diaper caddy. It helped keep things better arranged and without really moving around too much. If you found this video to be helpful, watch my video on top newborn essentials. You've got this.